The sea sparkled under the golden Venetian sun as a young man stood on the docks, his heart pounding with excitement. Marco Polo, only 17, was about to embark on the greatest adventure of his life. His father, Niccolo, and uncle, Maffeo, had already traveled to the mysterious lands of the East, where a mighty emperor, Kublai Khan, ruled over an empire beyond imagination. Now, they were returning to fulfill a promise, and Marco was going with them. He had no idea it would be 24 years before he saw Venice again. It was a journey into the unknown. Their journey began on a ship, sailing across the Mediterranean to the bustling port of Acre in the Holy Land. From there, they traveled by land, passing through Syria and into Persia, modern-day Iran, where golden deserts stretched endlessly and ancient cities whispered secrets of lost empires. The road was dangerous. Bandits lurked in the shadows, and storms turned dry lands into raging rivers. But Marco, wide-eyed and eager, listened to every story, studied every map, and learned every language he could. He was not just traveling, he was absorbing a world unlike anything he had known. Then came the Pamir Mountains, known as the roof of the world. Snow and ice covered the peaks, and the air was so thin that every breath felt like a struggle. But the Polos pushed forward, crossing into the vast golden lands of the Mongol Empire. Finally, after 4 long years, they arrived at the court of the great Khan. The palace of Xanadu was unlike anything Marco had ever seen. Towers of gold and jade, silk carpets as soft as clouds, and warriors in armor made of lacquered plates. It was a city built for a god. Kublai Khan, a man of immense power, sat on a throne surrounded by his advisors. His sharp eyes studied Marco. "And who is this?" he asked Niccolo. "My son, Marco," his father said. The Khan was amused. "Then let him prove himself." And so, Marco did. He learned the Mongol tongue, studied their customs, and impressed the Khan with his intelligence. The ruler, intrigued by the young Venetian, sent him on missions across his vast empire. Marco Polo became a traveler, a messenger, and an explorer in a world few Europeans had ever seen. For 17 years he rode across China, discovering wonders beyond imagination, cities bigger than any in Europe, where canals carried boats like streets carried carriages, paper money used instead of gold or silver, the Great Wall standing like a serpent against the northern wilderness, silk, spices and porcelain so valuable that traders risked their lives to bring them west. He even wrote of black stones that burned hotter than wood, cold, something unheard of in Europe at the time. But as the years passed, Marco longed for home. The road back was very dangerous. By 1292, the Polos had earned the Khan's favor, but leaving his empire was not easy. The Khan had one final task. They were to escort a Mongol princess to Persia, a journey across treacherous seas. They set sail with a fleet of ships, but the voyage was cursed. Storms raged, pirates attacked, disease spread. By the time they reached Persia, most of the crew had died. Only a handful, including the Polos, survived. From Persia, they traveled back through Turkey, and finally, after nearly a quarter of a century, Venice came into view. But when Marco stepped onto Venetian soil, something strange happened. No one recognized him. Years had passed. Venice had changed. And the boy who had left was now a grown man, wearing robes of silk and speaking in strange tongues. When Marco told people of the riches of the East, of golden palaces, cities larger than Rome, and emperors who ruled from horseback, they laughed. He was called Il Milione, the man of 1,000,000 lies. But then, war broke out between Venice and Genoa, and Marco was captured. In prison, he met a writer named Rustichello da Pisa, who listened to Marco's tales with wide eyes and ink-stained fingers. "Tell me everything," Rustichello said. And so, Marco Polo's story was written down, the book that would inspire explorers for centuries. One man, one journey, a world forever changed. And whether people believed him or not, Marco Polo knew the truth. He had seen the wonders of the East, and nothing would ever be the same